Hello everyone, and this is the fifth video I think on the IGCSE syllabus 0450 business studies, the new syllabus on 3.2.1. Yay, we've done 3.1 point 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you guys have any question, please don't be afraid to leave them in the comment section below. So 3.2.1, the role of market research and method used. Market-oriented business. Uh, why doesn't it say product-oriented? And product-oriented, I think, should be better. Primary research, secondary research, positives and negatives as usual. Methods of primary research, like questionnaires, online survey, interview, focus groups, and the factors influencing the accuracy of market research. And I'll actually include 3.2.2 inside here, just because 3.2.2 is really easy and it's just pure logic. Hold on, paste. Okay, so this is 3.2.1 and 3.2.2 in the same video. This might be a bit long, 10 minutes maybe, because this first bit might be a bit complicated. So let me start by a few definitions that would get you 2 marks really easily. First of all, what is market research? You see, like sometimes you know what it is, but you can't put it into words. So this is the actual textbook definition. So market research is a process of gathering, analyzing, interpreting information about a market. That would get you 2 full marks if you do that word for word. Or market research could also be about researching about, I'm not sure if they accept this, researching about a product before it is launched. I'm not sure about the second one, but for sure, just remember this first one. This would get you 2 marks right away. So that's market research. Second one, product oriented / market oriented. So I think they removed product oriented out of the business because they added like technology and stuff like that, because it's actually kind of good. One of the things I like, because market oriented, it's used a lot today, but product oriented not really, because product oriented is pretty much self-explanatory. Business is one whose main focus on the activity is the product itself. And if they ask, like, if you don't know how to explain it furthermore, basically this one is no market research. And the market oriented, sorry, I spelled that wrong, oriented business is one which carries out market research to find out consumer wants. So consumer wants before a product is developed and produced. So it's kind of links to like this first statement right here. It's about a product research and develop, we should say. Okay, so that should get you in the mood. Role of market research, market-oriented business. So market research. Why do we do market research? We have to know if the product is likable, if product is viable, if the price they would pay is actually good. So it kind of links to the first video, or the first syllabus statement, identifying them and linking them and satisfying them and linking them to the 4 P's. as I said earlier, price, product, place, promotion. You have to identify customer, what they want for these four, and you have to identify what's the thing? Identify and satisfy. Okay. Identify and satisfy. So there are two different types of information that we could get. First one is quantitative. Next one is qualitative. You don't need to know the proper definitions for these, but you might need to include them in this bit, the methods of primary research. They normally ask primary research and less about secondary research in my experience of doing past papers. So primary research. Okay, I'll explain to you the qualitative research first. Qualitative. Wait, which one's first? Quantitative. Quantitative research is basically like getting numbers, percentage amounts, those types of things. While qualitative is like more personal. Why? Why is this? What do you like? Like much more personal. So we could talk about primary research. The difference between primary research and secondary research is that primary research is first-hand. It collects and collates of the collection. Primary research is the collection and collation of original data, which is first-hand, through direct contact with potential or existing customers. And primary research could be also known as field research. I'll say that definition again. I can't be bothered to write it. So it's the collection and collation of original data via direct contact with potential or existing customers. Sorry. So let's give a few examples, like questionnaires. This is one of them, one of the primary research examples. And an advantage is that, as I said earlier, you don't have to know these terms, but you might mention them in the negatives and positives. Oh wait, have I defined them? Okay, primary research is first-hand, as I said earlier. Oh, I'll define them later on. Okay, it's okay. Qualitative, another positive is customer opinions can be gathered. Negative, it wastes time and money. And sometimes if the question, like the question right here, it's not well thought out, that could be bad. Okay, it's actually just use your common sense. Like if you're in that situation when you design or when you get a questionnaire, what will be the advantage in a business perspective? Second one is interviews, and this links to questionnaires quite a lot, but there's a person there instead of questions. So if you're not unsure of the questions, you could the interviewer could explain questions that they don't understand. The negative part is that it wastes time, wastes money, and it's a different perspective. If the interviewee has, or the person that gets interviewed has different perspective, this could lead to some biased results. Okay, let me continue it on here, and this is still primary research. Third one is sample. So the definition of a sample is group of people who are selected to respond, basically. And there are lots of different examples of sample, like random sample. This could be like 1 in 100, like just get telephone numbers, and 1 in every 100 you call them up and ask them about something. Or it could be 1 in every 100 and every 1,000 in the shopping mall queue and ask them questions. So it's totally random. The third one could be quota sample, and this is a selection on basis of certain characteristics like age, 13 to 19, teens, 25 to 50, for example, like that. That's a sample. There are two more types of primary research. Save. No, don't save. Focus groups. The definition of a focus group is group of people who are representatives of the target market. Alright. And an advantage is that it detailed info about consumers' opinion. Disadvantage is time consuming, bias, also expensive. Most of the disadvantages are similar, as you can see. And the fifth one is observation, and this could be recording, watching. And unlike the other four, this one is inexpensive. However, it's basic figures and not in depth. And the observation probably links to the best, or not links to best, but since it's inexpensive, it's the secondary research is also inexpensive. So secondary research is basically information that has already been collected and available to use. Already collected, that's the main thing. This could also be known as desk research. So there are two different types of secondary research: internal and external. But there's no internal and external for primary research. Internal, external. So internal could be finding sales data from sales department, pricing data, the finance department. So basically inside the business, the customer service or customer feedback department. And for external, this could be government statistics, newspaper, websites, internet, market research agencies, and so on. You don't have to memorize or know any of these specifically, like internal, external, but I think you have to know like three. Just name three of combined any one of them. So the you could also say already available. So disadvantages and advantages for secondary research is pretty straightforward too. Obviously, it's cheaper, and sometimes it's already available. I think that's an advantage too, and it also gives an economic forecast of the overall demand. Okay, and a disadvantage is that it might not. This is obvious. It's not directly suitable for the company. It's not. This is similar to the observation. It's basic or basic figures. It's not in depth. Okay, So it's almost done. I've done this. I've done this. Wait, sorry. I've done this. Factors influencing the accuracy of research data. And I should mention this like during the 15 minutes earlier. For in a sample, it's like the carefulness. Wait, hold on, let me look through my notes. How careful the sample was drawn up. That sample. Um, Selection. The sample selected. This could be like whether it's quota or random. It's unlikely to be truly representative of the total population, but it needs to be as near as is possible. So if a quota sample is used rather than a random sample, it's easier to get more accurate data. The size of the sample, of like how many people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people. But as its size goes on, we have to link this to the marketing budget. Well, I'll explain this later on. It gets more expensive, but it gets more accurate too at the same time. So what is the opportunity cost? That's what business have to think too. Um, Questions. It must be well prepared. Is it bias? They don't normally ask this in an exam paper, but you just have to be aware of these. And who carries out the research? And furthermore, the age of the information. It might be too old, so market research is not that accurate or precise. 3.2.2 Analyze market research data shown in the form of graphs, chart, and diagrams, and draw simple conclusions from such data. You can present them in table, like all practicals, table, diagrams, line, bar chart, pie chart. Just which one's the most suitable. It depends on the, as I said earlier, the case study, like 4-line introduction, so you'll know. You can make all of these could be right answers. The thing is, you just have to justify and explain why this is the case.